open.
Game week 21. This is Kits and Wagers. We got 6 bets for everyone. Midweek Premier League. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Chris Owen, fresh off FA Cup, fresh off just before coming on the show. Chris, I just saw that Sky Sports is reporting we're going to get the Premier League is going to release their penalties for teams tomorrow, I believe. So before all these games, we're going to know who gets some points deductions. If Manchester City will be relegated, we'll know tomorrow. But we're talking Monday right now. But happy Monday, Chris.
Happy Monday to you too. A rare Monday show from us. I assume you're talking about like the PSR penalties from the past year. They're going to have those down and see, if Everton's got another 6-point deduction or who else got it last year. So, certainly it's funny. It's like a new little wrinkle in the table here as we get into January and see teams that are actually, might have had, 17 points, but actually let's subtract a couple because they can't handle the financial restrictions. So kind of interesting, but that doesn't matter to us. We still got to make the bets. We still got to, we'll look at the table when it's updated, and hopefully no one is going to see any points deduction because in my mind it's just kind of sucks and doesn't make the product as fun. But anyways, we're back with a bunch of bets. Hopefully you enjoyed what is and I'm sure you still have to cover those games, but hopefully a little less stressful on the FA Cup and covered some. It's always interesting seeing those games. Some of the Giants versus the lesser teams.
Yeah, we won't be talking about. No, we are. We will be talking about Tottenham. I will be providing a bet for that game against Arsenal. But they were what was just popping up on my Twitter feed was just like Tottenham being outplayed by this. I can't even remember what was their team. It was like Tottenham. It was like I don't know, whatever. Whoever they played, they're playing on some 2,000 seat. Pitch where everyone who played on the team has a secondary or main job that they do during the week. It was they ended up winning in extra time, but it was kind of funny to see that happen to Tottenham. But here are the records. Chris, you hit a plus 180 bet last week, so you're still up money despite going 1-2. I went 2-1. I gave out the guaranteed winner, but both my winners were minus 120, minus 110. So the performance wasn't as good, you could say, but yeah, I just needed wins. That's what I said last week. Just need some wins, and I got some wins. So shouts to Newcastle on getting the guaranteed winner. But Chris, let's get into game week 21, and we got your birthday game is what we're talking about. So early happy birthday to Chris. Nottingham Forest hosting Liverpool. Nottingham Forest plus 400 to win. Liverpool minus 155. Draw plus 320. Are you surprised here that Liverpool are minus 155 despite losing in the prior leg and despite Nottingham Forest being third place in the table, basically second place, depending how you look at it, 6 points back in the table? Are you surprised that it's just plus 400 for Forest to win here?
Yeah, you think it would maybe be a little tighter? I don't know if that's what you're arguing, but I feel like it would be a little bit tighter than the plus 400, maybe like a plus 250-ish range or plus 300.
Yeah, get Liverpool plus 110 to win or something like that. But no, that's no love to Nottingham Forest here.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, it makes it easier to for me to make this bet, not to take a convenient minus 120 money line bet that doesn't necessarily feel that great against a strong Forest team who've been pretty solid at home too. So yeah, a little bit surprised in that endeavor, but I think this is somehow become a kind of a title challenge from Forest, and I think they'll definitely put up a good fight. They've already beaten Liverpool once this season, so who's to say they can't do it again? Because of those reasons and because just how well they've played, Liverpool kind of hit a bit, a mini kind of rocky patch, I guess you could say. They did win at the weekend in the FA Cup against Accrington Stanley, who is I don't even know, non-league. They're pretty low down, and they won 4-0.
Third division, I want to say.
Yeah, so that it wasn't much of a challenge, and they were able to rest some guys, so that could probably play into this. Meanwhile, I think Forest, I forget who they play, but they came out on the. It was a.
They won 2-0 against.
Yeah, against Luton. They play Luton over the weekend. So Luton, who just fired their manager too, I think last week or the week before. But prior to that, Liverpool had they lost to Tottenham in the League Cup. They drew Man United, so kind of you call it a mini rough patch in their season. So all that said, I'm kind of avoiding the money line bet here. I don't feel super great about like Liverpool walking into Forest and getting a full 3 points here. It's on the other side of that, Forest hosting top of the table team, tough to be like, okay, I'm going to take them double chance, which I did consider, which is a bet worth viewing. But ultimately, I just looked at some of the stats here and decided that I'm going to take the under 2.5. It is plus 125. The last match was 1-0. Forest is tied for second with just 7 goals conceded at home. So they've been super strong defensively at home. On the other side of it, we know Liverpool's been pretty strong defensively across both home and away. I think they're tied for third with just 11 goals conceded. So neither defense is been super leaky here. So I expect this to be like maybe it could be 1-0 again, 1-1, maybe a 2-0. But I just don't see this becoming like a multi-goal thriller. So I'm taking the under 2.5 at plus 125.
I almost wrote up this exact bet in my article. Right before the show, I wrote up my article. That'll be up rotowire.com/soccer. Early Tuesday, I'll be posting that. But kind of similar thoughts to you. I just have a different bet. But I did consider a Nottingham Forest double chance here. You are getting plus money. It's pretty close, but you could see, you look at some of these Nottingham Forest results, and I wrote up all these in my article, but against top teams like Liverpool, they're barely getting any shots. Their XG has been below 1 against Liverpool. I think it was 0.44. Against Chelsea, it was below 1. They lost 3-0 at Arsenal, 3-0 against Man City. Just against these top teams, they're basically, a few shots, maybe one good opportunity in all these games. They had one good opportunity in the first time they played Liverpool, managed to get the 1-0 result there. Can that happen again? Probably not. So I think we're kind of in the same line of thinking here, under 2.5. I would have taken this, but I just lost on Nottingham Forest. I just lost, was that at Wolverhampton? I had Nottingham Forest and under 2.5 goals in that one. Taiwo Owanyi came on, wanted a goal, ended up getting it in like the final minute of stoppage time. So under 2.5 did not hit, unfortunately, for that. So that's the main reason I didn't go there personally, just because I still have a dagger in my heart from that one. I do like the under 2.5 at plus 125 here.
That's right.
Next game I'm talking about, West Ham are home. I think this is they were at Aston Villa. This is the home debut for Graham Potter over at West Ham. They are plus 185 to win. Fulham are plus 145. Draws plus 245. Potter was manager, I think, for like a day or a couple days when they went to Aston Villa in the FA Cup. That was on Friday. It wasn't over the weekend. It was on Friday. They lost that one 2-1, but they have a couple more days of training here under Potter, so maybe that's going to help a little bit. But I just think we combine a new manager bump here with Fulham, 4th in the league in terms of expected goals allowed. Have been pretty stout defensively this season, just in terms of limiting opponents, and they might get Sanderberg back from his injury. So that's just going to add to their midfield if he's available. And then we got questions on the West Ham side. They lost Somerville to some kind of hamstring issue on Friday. Fulkrug is out for an extended period. He got injured in the FA Cup game. Not a great start here for Graham Potter, but you throw in all these injuries. Bowen's already out. Antonio's already out. Will West Ham be able to score? I don't know. But I think that they still are at home under Potter. We get the new manager bump. I'm just going low-scoring game, whether it's 2-0, 1-1, 1-0 to either side. I think we're going to get a low-scoring game here, similar to the prior one we talked about. So under 2.5 goals, plus 115. So what do you think? Graham Potter, new manager bump here and ignore the FA Cup game?
Yeah, I think. I mean, Potter's back, baby. I think maybe we gotta roll with that new manager bump. Looking at his experience at Brighton, Chelsea, which obviously went poorly, and then back to London with the Hammers here. He's got some decent players, I feel like, to do enough. Fulkrug kind of like being back fit, I guess, is a
He's
nice
injured. He's injured.
okay.
Yeah, he just got injured Friday.
So no, that's tough. So they're gonna probably struggle to. I mean, without anybody up front, they're gonna struggle to score. But I mean, still, he's got enough. Like his players are not bad per se. He's got enough guys to grind out results, I think.
You'd think so.
West Ham has better players than some of the other four sides that are probably below them.
Yeah,
the promoted sides plus maybe Wolves. I think West Ham's roster might be slightly better.
Yeah, I mean, you have Kudus, who's arguably maybe the most talented player. Maybe Kudus, a little bump here because I don't think you like Lopetegui very much. But I mean, you got Paqueta in here, a regular for the Brazil team. You have okay players. Wan-Bissaka has had a good season. Center backs have had some difficulties, you could say. But again, new manager, maybe all these guys, Souček, Edson in the middle. Maybe these guys will all be playing better than they had been playing under Lopetegui. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do. Tricky spot, but I think they can get a point here home, at least a point here home against Fulham. Chris's next game, we got Newcastle, who are, along with Nottingham Forest, the most informed team in the league, coming off another win in the FA Cup. Newcastle are minus 270 for this one. Wolverhampton plus 600 to win. The draw is plus 450. One of the reasons Wolverhampton kind of fell apart in their last game against Nottingham Forest, they had a lot of new injuries pop up. So they had a weird starting 11 where Semedo, I think it was in training, he picked up some kind of hamstring injury. Already got a couple injuries at center back. Dawson is another injury. So they had kind of a weird starting 11 against Nottingham Forest, but they added, in the past week, they added Emmanuel Agbedo from somewhere in France. I think it was a red team. Reims. Somewhat red is what we could say. But they added a new center back. He's probably going to start here. He started in their FA Cup game. But I'm not sure how much that will matter. I guess they get Cunha back is what I'll say. Matheus Cunha was banned for a couple games for his post-game antics from a few weeks ago. But what are your thoughts here? Newcastle minus 270 to win. Pretty hefty favorites, which isn't surprising given how well they're playing.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Newcastle, like you said, what have they won 5 straight in the league? I think now. They are
at least
fifth. They've been very impressive. They're kind of starting to bring back. Yeah, they're starting to bring back that kind of swagger they had a couple seasons ago, where they were just so strong defensively. I'm interested to see, is he good to go for this one? Because didn't he have a bit of a injury question mark?
Well, unfortunately, we're going to get that probably Tuesday morning. I think that's when Eddie Howe's press conference is. Yeah, he has like a hamstring. It's minor, so he was rested over the weekend. I think he's going to start unless, it's a real hamstring injury, then he's not going to. But from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to be like a serious hamstring injury. So.
Okay. Well, that's a big question mark for me. But yeah, I mean, you look at the list of injuries that Wolverhampton are kind of dealing with, and kind of minting a new center back with the team is always kind of tough, especially with a side that have been so good in Newcastle. So I'm a little bit worried about what Wolverhampton's going to do. You did mention they have kind of bounced back from the doldrums they were in, but I think Newcastle's form is just enough to kind of overpower them here. I actually think they'll win in a pretty convincing fashion. I'm taking Newcastle minus 1.5. It is minus 115. So I like them to really take it to them and ultimately win, maybe 3-1, 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Isak injury comes into play. He's been scoring basically every game for him, but overall they're all playing pretty solid. They also got Botman back from his injury, and he started a couple already. Just adds another piece on their back line, which is only helpful. Whereas Wolverhampton are basically down all their guys, and they have to start someone they just added less than a week ago. So yeah, I just think 8 straight overall in all competitions. Newcastle have won. So
That's impressive. They're on a good run right now.
Yeah, that includes a 2-0 win at Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semifinal. So pretty good run overall. And even if Isak is out, you still probably like this one, even without him. But speaking of Arsenal here, Arsenal are home. Arsenal in a weird spot, Tottenham in a weird spot. Kind of a weird game here, just in terms of how these teams are playing. Arsenal minus 250 to win. That dropped from minus 310 last week. And, that's probably because of some injuries here. Minus 250 to win for Arsenal. Tottenham plus 550, draw plus 425. The Tottenham injury list is still pretty much the same. They added Kinski as their goalkeeper, I think probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He's basically starting every game now. Fraser hasn't returned from the illness he had. So it seems like Kinski's going to be in there, but all their defensive injuries, that's still the same. Lucas Bergvall has been getting minutes. He scored the winner against Liverpool. Sorry about that one, Chris. But yeah, he's been getting time. Arsenal, new injuries. Calafiori had picked up an issue. He missed the last game. Gabriel Jesus might have a serious knee injury after what happened against Bruno and Manchester United over the weekend. Timber missed that one because of a hamstring, or he went off late because of a hamstring issue. Saka's still out, so we got injuries for both sides, and you know what that means. Let's just say under, and under 3.5 goals. I was seeing like minus 125, minus 140. So I just put in a single game parlay. Let's get plus odds on it. I'm done with the minus 120, minus 130 bets. So put in Arsenal double chance with under 3.5 goals, plus 100 odds. If Arsenal lose, then I'm an idiot, but I don't think they're going to lose this one. So that's what I got.
It's been a tough week for them. Losing, was it 2-0 against Newcastle in the League Cup, and then that losing on penalties yesterday after being up. They were up a man for like how many? Like, was it 30 minutes? It might have been longer.
I think that was at least 45 and then extras, right?
Yeah.
Dalot off at 60, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't get it done despite being up a man for about an hour essentially with extra time. And now they got the NLD here, and yeah, I'm interested to see what the result is here, because both teams could really desperately use a 3 points here.
Both teams struggling. No Saka. Tottenham just struggling in general and playing more defensive, I should say. I took under 3.5 in the Tottenham Liverpool match a week ago. They've just been playing differently, which is kind of surprising under Ange, but they have been a little bit more defensive in their last few matches. So that's also kind of why I like the under 3.5 here. If you want to take that by itself, go ahead and not worry about Tottenham somehow getting 3 points in this one. But Thursday's games, those were on Wednesday. Thursday's matches, there are only 2 of them. Chris is talking Manchester United, home against Southampton. Manchester United minus 320 to win. This seems like crazy odds here, but it is Southampton. Bottom of the table, plus 750 to win. The draw is plus 450. Dalot, as we were just mentioning, he picked up the suspension. He is suspended for this one. Had the red card last match. You know what, Chris? I just want to say before shooting it over to you, just I just don't like the Manchester United fans whenever they win a match. They all act like they're like the best team in the league, and they're like, yeah, we're awesome, we're amazing. Like, they're ignoring that they were terrible for 3 months. And it was the thing with Ten Hag. It was like, yeah, we won a couple cups. I had a pretty successful stint here at Manchester United. We got the cups, even though you're terrible in league play. And like, I just go back to like Garnacho with his amazing goal, maybe against Everton a couple of years ago. And like, he just acted like he was like the best player ever. I don't know, just something I wanted to get off my chest.
Well, Adam, this is a safe space, and really welcome to your opinion regarding some of their antics after winning games. But yeah, I mean, if an FA Cup 4th round match is what gets the Man United team fans up, then that's fine. Like,
so be it.
Yeah, so be it. They can have it. I mean, they did win the FA Cup last year, and good for them. So this is perhaps kind of their competition again for the year. So it bothers me a little. They got a couple nice results last week. With the 2-2 against comeback from behind. draw with Liverpool, and then of course like that's a gritty win. So credit to them to over Arsenal in penalties, playing down like we mentioned, playing down a man for an hour plus. So good for them. But I'm not gonna blow out their wick here. I'm gonna let them celebrate a bit. But kind of ideal. This feels a bit like a trap, but kind of an ideal opponent here after you have gotten a couple big results with hosting Southampton here, a team that has scored just 5 goals away from home all season. United have been slightly better defensively. I'm going to go with this bet more or less, more so that Southampton cannot score away from home. They have 5 goals, 10 matches, worse in the league. I think, we've started to see a little bit more confidence in this United team, and, a month plus 2 months, maybe now under the new manager has helped them get a little bit more organized perhaps. But I'm taking Man United to win in a shutout as plus 120. So I look, you can do Man United clean sheet, which is plus 105, but if you're going to do that, you might as well just go Man United. You're not going to bet on a 0-0. And if you're going to do that, then just go bet 0-0 as an exact score instead. So I did Man United to win and win to 0. It's plus 120.
So what do you think? 2-0, 1-0?
I think this is like a 1-0.
Could do the under here too. I may have looked at that. Based off what I said, I think I like the value at Southampton double chance at plus 250. So I think that you look at these last 2 matchups, Arsenal, Liverpool, kind of, based off how they'd been playing for 2 months, basically. They basically, they played up for those games. The big teams, they played up the big matchups. And are they going to play up for Southampton? I think for this team to be successful, they have to play up for basically every game. But are they going to play up for Southampton, who has been one of the worst teams ever in the Premier League? Probably not. So I do think it kind of is in range for Southampton to steal something. I know you said 5 goals and away from home, which obviously is terrible. But, if we see some rotation, Manchester United really hasn't rotated the last 2 games against these top teams. And now it could be like Malacia starting on the left wing because Dalot is suspended. You get some things like that. Dibbling has had some moments for Southampton's, Mateus Fernandez, Onuachu, like these guys have had some moments while they're not scoring. I think they, maybe some rotation for United kind of opens things up for Southampton. I don't hate like Southampton double chance plus 250. Obviously it's going against your bet. Your bet makes more sense, but I just like the value on Southampton, I guess is what I'll say.
I don't have any faith in Southampton right now. Like they've been just kind of dropping games, and I'm not putting anything behind that.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely shouldn't have any faith in them. Though they did play their level of competition in the FA Cup, beat Swansea 3-0. So congrats to them. But yeah, you look back at their last league game and they just got smashed by Brentford. One of the bets you hit 5-0 at home. Say goodbye to the new manager bump. The new manager bump is already gone with their new guy. But the other game on Thursday, Ipswich Town, our home, plus 275 to win. Brighton are minus 105. The draw is plus 275. The bad thing for Ipswich is Omari Hutchinson picked up a groin injury a week or so ago, so he has been out, so that adds to the injuries. Brighton still have a bunch of things. João Pedro, probably the main thing. He underwent a scan, I want to say, yesterday. It went well. I'm not sure he's going to be ready to start, so something to keep an eye on. Danny Welbeck returned from his 2-month-long injury in the FA Cup, so he is an option again for Brighton. But yeah, Ipswich at town. I know Ipswich at home. I know Hutchinson is out, but I just like them at home here. And Ipswich double chance by itself. Another one of these where it was odds I didn't like. It was minus 130, minus 140, something like that. But I'm just going to a single game parlay. I don't think there's going to be more than 4 goals here. I think 2-2 is the max, is what I'll say between these teams. But single game parlay, Ipswich double chance plus under 4.5 goals plus 120 odds. I don't think Brighton have been great over the past 2-3 months, and I'm not sure why I'm going to change that view for trip to Ipswich here. So, what do you think on this one? You think Ipswich can get a point?
I think so. This is a very the under 4.5. That feels achievable. But yeah, the Ipswich double chance. I like it at home, pulling a point from Brighton. Why not?
Yeah, just Brighton. I don't even know if they've actually won a league game in like 3 months. It seems like it seems like it's a lot of draws, a lot of losses. I guess you look back, they had their good stretch was in November. They beat Manchester City, they beat Bournemouth in back-to-back matches. And that was the last time they won. All these other games, they got the 2-2 result at Leicester, lost 3-1 at Fulham, couldn't win at West Ham, 1-1. So those were their recent away matches. They had a 2-2 result at Aston Villa. So yeah, I think Ipswich are playing well enough, and they can get a point here. I think they still have a chance more than Southampton, probably more than Leicester to be one of these teams that can actually stay above and stay in the Premier League here, which I think is kind of what everyone wants, I guess, if we're being honest.
Pretty much.
That's all we got. 6 bets in under 30 minutes here in game week 21. Chris, here's the cheat sheet, rotowire.com/soccer trial. 48-hour trial. Has the lineups, has the odds for all these. Anything else you want to mention before we go? We kind of mentioned all these big ones. Man City at Brentford. We have not mentioned this one. What do you think about Man City? Is Man City back? Or Manchester City back? They got, I think, was it 3 straight wins now? They just they beat Salford City while playing 1 defender, I think, or whatever they did, 2 defenders in that game. Are Man City back because they just scored 8 goals?
I think so. We've turned.
Wow, you think so?
Yeah, we've turned the page on 2024. We know what happens with Man City after the turn of the year. They start to rifle home wins. They start to put the pedal to the metal. Some will say this is a different situation, which it is, but I think they're going to be back. I wouldn't, I think any day now we might see a little movement out of them in the transfer window. I think they just got that guy from some random guy from where the heck was he?
Marmouche?
Yeah, no.
Or Kusanov?
Yeah, Kusanov. Georgian. Yeah. Is he Georgian or no? I forget
I don't know where he's from. Uzbekistan?
Yeah, Uzbekistan. So it's that time of the year where they just start to grind out results, and we've seen them lose in the first part of the season, obviously quite a bit and quite surprising, but they've got enough quality. I think they'll start to return some guys from injury. I am interested to see that Kyle Walker did say that he wants to leave and could be pretty imminent here in the winter transfer window. And so
I think he's done.
That's a pretty big loss for them.
Somewhat. He basically hasn't. I don't know when the last time he actually played was. He's been pretty bad this year. Rico Lewis has basically been the guy there. But I do have a bet on this match in my article. Check it out. I almost went Brentford double chance, but you're gonna have to read the article. It is on Brentford. So if you don't trust Chris here, I do have a Brentford bet. But that's all we got. RotoWire.com/soccer. You can find Chris at CHROwen8. I am at RotoZdroik. Follow RotoWire Soccer. Good luck in your bets. We might be back on Friday for game week 22. Again, it doesn't stop here. The games are continuing on. But Chris, good luck on your bets, and we'll see everyone later in the week.
Thanks, Adam.